thing about cherries is that over 80% of the bulk is actually taken up with the stone, so they only have a small bit of flesh around the stone, and the issue is how on earth do you get the goodness out of the flesh whilst dealing with the stones. So you can, as I have done before, you can stand there for hours de-stoning every cherry going, but back in the kitchen I'm going to show you a simpler way of making preserves using cherries. So, back in the kitchen, and here are the cherries we picked, ready to make gooseberry and cherry jelly. And of course, to make that, you have to have some gooseberries. So, roughly equal quantities of cherries and gooseberries. And the thing about the gooseberries is that's the fruit that's going to be supplying the pectin to this, because there's virtually no pectin in cherries. And that means if you try to make jam, which is just cherries and sugar, then it won't set. So gooseberries, packed full of pectin, so great for getting your jams and jellies to set. So, add your gooseberries to the jam pan with the cherries in. You don't need to worry about topping and tailing these, because we're going to be boiling this to make a pulp. And then add in some water. You may need to add a bit more as the boiling and simmering process goes through. And then add heat and let this come to the boil. As you can see, it has come up to the boil and we've left it simmering for a while, and we are waiting for all the fruit to pulp down. We haven't had to add any more water to it, so nice and sloppy at the moment, but as you can see, some of this fruit is still whole. So we could probably give this another hour of simmering away before we strain it. So once it's all pulped, just put it through a jelly bag. Unfortunately, I need to do a bit of a repair job there, so but put it through the jelly bag and let it strain for a few hours. The pulp has been straining for 24 hours, so our next job is to measure the liquid and put it in the jam pan. Right, we've measured the liquid and it's 2 litres, so it's now on the cooker, and we're going to just apply a bit of heat to bring that up to the boil. Once the liquid's come up to the boil, add in a kilo of sugar for every litre of liquid, and then bring it back up to the boil. So keep it on a rolling boil until it gets to the setting point, and to check for the setting point, just put a bit on a saucer, and if it forms a skin like this is doing there, then it's ready to go into hot sterilised jars. So there we have it, 8 jars of cherry and gooseberry jelly.